The views expressed by our guests in the following video are solely the opinions of our guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and or opinions of the Ola 7 podcast show. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello guys, my name is DJ Ola 7 Owen. We're Kwamarodo, the Chief Air Marshal on your number one podcast in the land at the Ola 7 podcast. It is your favorite segment on the spot. So on this show, I host people from all walks of life, politicians, sports people, entertainers, business people, and also artists. So today, we have a very special guest in studio, Farai Marapira, the Director for Information and Publicity for Zimbabwe African National Union Patriotic Front, that's ZANU PF. That means he is the mouthpiece of the party. And now started tivadane kuno wakati mboti kurukure zvakati dzamei zvacho pamusoro pebato reZANU PF. Been in power for over 4 decades since independence in 1980. How does the party objectively assess its own performance over time, especially on issues like service delivery, stability, economic stability, and also youth unemployment, also corruption, things like that. So tichanga tichikurukura zvakare nyaya dziri kuitika mubato kusawirirana kwatiri kuona kunenge kuchiitika pa social media kusaziva kuti zvinenge zvirimo here zvichokwadi mupati chada kuti tinyatsozvinzwa nhasi kubva kumutauriri webato reZANU PF Farai Marapira vari pano uyezve dambudziko rewari kudzingwa kwemaparty members and also the idea of the ED 2030 uyezve matambudziko ari pamberi pedu tichasana nenyaya dzesarudzo dza 2028. So this conversation is about holding power accountable, understanding the challenges facing the ruling party, and looking ahead to the future of the Zimbabwe's democracy. So let's get started. Thank you so much. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Totenda.
So to begin with, the recent one. Director Marapira, Zimbabwe's constitution clearly states, a 2-term presidential limit. We want to understand from you, where is the legal or moral basis for even entertaining the idea of ED 2030? That's what we're seeing. What we're seeing on social media, different platforms. Other party members.
Well, first and foremost, the constitution is a living organism. Change as time goes and the society changes. Pakatoiswa 2-term limit, iyo constitution nacho yakatoiswa ine measures ekuti kana zvichida kuchinjwa zvinochinjwa nenzira ipi. Kureva kuti kuchinjwa kwaizvozvo hakusi kunhu kusiri pamutemo. Zvinhu zvine nzira dzepamutemo zvadzinogona kuitwa nazvo. So essentially there is legal basis for changing the 2-term limit, provided by the constitution itself. But those that will be saying that it is illegal, they are misguided and vanenge vachitaurawo zvavasingazivi, vanenge vasina kuiverenga.
Vanenge kuiverenga zvakanaka. Maybe mungatigaidiwa Marapira kuti pamuri kuti inogona kuchinjika. Ndakambonzwa vamonzora vanova zvakare vaiti vamwe vanhu vakanyora bumbiro remutemo vachitaura kuti the 2-term limit inokwanisa kuchinjika, but machinjirwo ayo ndeyekuti inenge isinga benefit the current president or the sitting president. Is that true according to your understanding?
Yes, that's very true. That is one of the provisions. Kuti, if there's going to be such a change, such a change does not benefit the sitting president, but will come into effect in the term of the next president.
Meaning to say, those who are saying ED 2030, or those who are actually advocating for maybe presidential extension yava munangagwa kuti iende mberi ngikini yavo kureva kuti hazvikwanisiki nekuda kuti vanenge vasiri vanokwanisa kunge vachibenefita for that.
Well, there are many legal avenues which can make it possible.
Okay.
Dzakatoti one day, but vanenge vachiti 2030 vanangagwa vanenge vachiripo, which is what the party said, resolution number 1.
Yeah. Oh, that's the position of the party?
Yes, that's the position of the party.
To say 2028, so meaning to say 2028, President Mnangagwa is your candidate?
Meaning to say that the party is asking for the president to serve until 2030 as president. No resolution number one atakaita conference last year, 2024 in October. Yes, that's resolution number 1 of 2024. What happens is when we go to conference, we sit down. The government is led by the party. Saka party in it sit down and it puts my resolutions, and these resolutions guide government business for the next year. So government, that's why we say it is a ZANU PF led government. Yes, so Paneto my resolutions, wow, it's not the only resolution, it's resolution number 1, Posita Mangwe, which also speak into the agenda for the government going into 2024 to 2025.
So pamatsanangura mimi matipani manga ma avenues, meaning to say e avenue and tsanangura e inorambidza the president to extend his limit or to benefit from this maybe constitutional ngikini pakati ma amendments anenga aitwe papo. So what other legal means or avenues do you have in place or that you intend to then use kuti president varambe vari pachigaro?
This will be reviewed in due course. Government as by the party mandate through the Justice Minister and Maima Biza. They're working on it.
Right.
And they'll give advice and guidance on the several channels which can be used to ensure that this resolution is fulfilled. So only then can we then come back and say which of these are we using. But they will all be fairly legal. Yes, that is if the president also moves back on his statement that he doesn't want. Yes.
Okay, no, that's fine. So I think, guys, there you have it. 2028. That's the party's resolution of the 2024. Now, I acknowledge the significant contributions ZANU PF has made in terms of national development. Well done on the Trabablas interchange. That's the first in Zimbabwe. This other day I was joking with my colleagues here and saying, do you know the Trabablas is the first interchange in Zimbabwe, and we have to celebrate that. Because someone is saying, why are you celebrating this? It's China, no, but yeah, Zimbabwe. So it's the first. I'm sure when China had their first, they also celebrated the same way we are celebrating.
Yeah, I think that's one of the societal problems which we have as a country. Kuti olakaita chaatogona vokama wake vanogona kutoshora kuti azviitire atenga mota ndiye atanga kutenga mota here panoti mungopembera kuti munhu aita chinhu chakanaka chaitwa. But it's part of a challenge societal. It's not just political, which is why ndashandisa example yekuti even in families it's there. That's it's a very bad part of us as a country. We are always trying to be negative. Every positive step I have to find something bad to say about it. But those that stay along the way of the interchange vanotaura kuti iri kuvabetsera yakufuta traffic zvakanaka kusisina matraffic jam. So vatakaisira they appreciate it. That is what matters. Because it was part of their aspirations, and this as a party, our duty is to fulfill my aspirations. And if it has led to easier access to and from work for them, then that is a mandate fulfilled, and we are proud as a party.
So there are quite a number of rumors circulating about the Trabablas, the new interchange project. Hanzi marigunzi yakashandiswa yakawandisa. What's your take on this one, director? Because parigunzi mari dzakapinda papa dzakawandisa than zvaifana kunge zvichishandiswa ipapo. Nevamwe vanoratidza kuti maexpectio munyaya idzodzo.
Kune maexpects ekuverenga mari dzevamwe ndo vakaita sevavo kuti vanozoguma vataura kwavasina kuswera. There are so many variables that go into construction. You find kuti there is no structure constructed in any two countries inoita masame cost, because kune mavariables ecost, cost of labor, cost of raw materials, and so many other variables come into play. My cost of fuels, so many variables come into play when you're looking at the overall expense of something. Yes, I'll give an example. If you compare maybe cement prices here in Zimbabwe and in Zambia, you find that there's a big discrepancy, which means constructing something in Zambia will be relatively cheaper. You understand?
Than in Zimbabwe.
Than in Zimbabwe. So it's just people exercising their democratic right to speak. But you know, apasi pese panotaura zvine musoro and
but vamwana vachiti maybe kuzokura kwema-amounts or mafigures anenge akaiswa paipai vari kuti pange vanhu vari mupower vanenge vachiona mukana wekusaifona mari vachitora mari dzimwe dzichizoenda kokoko but
no, what happens is kana munhu usati auri suspicious effect ukafungidzira usati zvawafungidzira
effect
what they need to do is to be responsible and provide the evidence, not to just allege because they've got access to a keyboard. You know, that's not how it works. So in the absence of evidence, tinenge chingoti aiwa
speculations
kungorotomuka huko ngaonzombo.
Okay,
it's not basa rakanaka rakaitwa
basa aiwa ari zvinhu basa riri kuonekwa but pana mwangu achicriticize ndakamona pana you know the time yakanyazonzi yaofficial itwa ndikini pana mwangu akubudisa mamwe mapatsi achinzi anazopera this and that paitwa zinge short job something like that
ngavaenda vandotora mapicture vakamira pamapatsi acho. You know, payakatorisa it was quite sad. You find kuti people were trying to put pictures which were not a purple, just trying to tarnish the whole thing. So you wonder kuti where is our pride of self as Zimbabweans? Kuti taita something chakanaka, but instead of being part of the machinery that celebrates, someone is trying to put effort into maligning kushiseka before masekwa neokunze. You know, I think when other countries look at us panauyo vanotiseka kuti inyika ameno kuti yakagadzirwa the people cannot even celebrate themselves.
Criticize,
but isusu tinongorwa basa.
So now let's come back to that issue of 2030 because I think it's one of the main topical issues ziri kunetsa ma-streets. Matitsanangurira about ma legal avenues aringachigadzirwa nezvimwe zvakadaro but vanhu vakawanda munyika you know vari kuti vari kuona sekunge nyaya yekuti 2030 kutichange tiri kudzokera kumashure like you know to the vamugabe era yanga yairamba iri continuous isingaperi. Imimi sevatauriri semutauriri bato munopaona sei like extending the party I mean term yavamunangagwa maybe wachati impressa futi 2030 yacho tichafara nezva wachatiitira then you say let's extend again hatiseri tadzokera futi kumugabe era.
Well, ola isusu tiri nyika inonzi Zimbabwe. We pursue democracy with Zimbabwean characteristics. Tiri vanhu vari autonomous, we are our own society and we develop at our own pace. Hatifaniri kunyanyotsvaka kuti iyi nyika yakanyanyoita gore rakati okuona sekuti imwe nyika mafambiro yakaita rwendo rwayo ndo zvakakosha kana kuti zvakarongeka kupfuura isusu maitirani yedu. Be that as it may, right yavo nekuti ndo zvakaendera ZANU PF ichiri ZANU nezapo kuhondo kuti mwana mutema wese ane mvumo yekutaura zvimupfungwa dzake. Saka hatina kuti munhu wese ngaazvide asi chakakosha chinonzi democracy kuti chinhu chadiwa neruzhinji. That is democracy. Azvirevo kuti isu ZANU PF patakawina 2023 hakuna wakavhoterawo vamwe vakavhoterawo vamwe asi ruzhinji rwakavhotera ZANU PF. That is democracy. It's not always democracy is not unanimity. It's not about unanimous acclamation. It's about kuti vazhinji zvavada ndo zvinosumudza day.
Okay, ndida kuti ndimbobvisa bato rinopikisa kana vemapato anopikisa opposition political parties. Let's talk about ZANU PF iyo pachayo. Within the party, is everyone in agreement with this resolution or some are even saying no according to maonero enyu mimi semutaurire bato?
Within the party it's still not bato rakatoita agree to this because when we went for conference in October the grassroots indicated to all provinces that they wanted an extension to 2030 and the provinces came and they communicated essay a return. So within the party the voice of the majority was speaking towards extending to 2030. Yes, and the party when it speaks haitauri kuti munhu 1 akandogara padombo zirekodha pafone kotonzi pati yataura we are a party ine mastructures we are a party ine mastructures you know. We are a party ine methods with the constitution. So as a party tinoenzira dzedu dzatinoti this is what we have decided as a party. Kana iri dissenting view yemunhu waana ari kwaari, that is not a sign of saying the party is in disagreement. No, munhu ari kwaari ari kufunga wari nekutaurawo zvaari kudi.
Because some war veterans led by, Blessed Geza protested against the idea of, President Mnangagwa running in 2030. Marapira, tinotimbonzwa kuti kune vakarwa hondo yesununguko sana vageza nezvimwe zvakadaro, nevamwe vakavatsigira mumashoko avainawo vari kuti no to ED 2030. Uye utaridza zvakaita kuti pachena kuti havasi kutsigira vamunangagwa kuti varambe vari pachigaro kupfuura 2028. Havasi vari kungotaura sevamwe vanhu vari kumirira here vanhu vakawanda vakarwawo hondo yerusununguko. Imimi makazvitarisa nekuti bato remaovets ibato ramunoona kuti kati boka iroro rinokosha within the ruling party. Zvino maor veteran kubvira nekubvira vanoti vakataura zvaironyanyonzwisiswa nepati nekuti vanenge vachinzi ava ndo like mapillars emusangano, mapillars even nyika yedu chaiyo. Saka semashoko ari kufambiswa aya akatungamirwa navageza aya, imimi sebato rezANU PF muri kuvatorawo sei?
Tinongodzoka panhau yatachitaura yekuti seZANU PF tine War Veterans League. War Veterans League yakatsigira. Tine affiliate yema-war veterans. It has not stated a dissenting view. So pakatawo 1 or 2 vanenge vachitaurawo zvavari kudi zvavari kutaura right yavo. They've got a right to express themselves. That's democracy. They've got a right to speak their mind. They've got a right to not agree to something. Yes, we do. As a party, we don't have a problem with Wageza not agreeing with us. But pakazoita an issue was when Wageza, as a member then of the party, decided to insult and denigrate leadership. Izvozvo zvinokudzingisa mumusangano.
Mukataiwa Wageza mitagura mabhegi nyumeni.
Vakazvidzinga aiwa.
Vakazvidzinga.
Saka havana kudzingirwa kuti vakaramba 2030 asi tine mafambiro nematauriro atinoita mumusangano. Kana especially tichitaura pachedu nekutaura maererano neutungamiri. Kana waita matauriro akasiyana neiwawo takutoona kuti iwe mupfungwa nomweya usiri kufamba nesu. Asi kana kuri kuwirirana kana kusawirirana pachino zvinhu zvinototendekwa, zvinhu zvinotowanika. Ndosaka tichita mainternal elections kutoziva kuti vanhu vedu mumusangano vane maonero akasiyana-siyana, vanoda zvakasiyana-siyana. Saka tinovapa mukana wekuti chivhoterai uyu kana uyu maprimary elections, maelection emaposition chaiwo, so that the voice of the majority ndo inoenda pamberi. Asi not if voice yemunhu wese. Asi part of party discipline is to accept kuti when the majority have spoken, kana zviro zvadiwa noruzhinji, chero ndikasazvida, zvakureva kuti ine as a member of the party ndakufangwa kuti toe that line. Simple.
So tiri kutaura kuti Vageza havana kudzingirwa nyaya yekuti vakati no to 2030, but vakadzingirwa nyaya yekuti vakanga vaotukana neleadership. Kana vakanga kuisa mashoko asiri kuleadership. Ndo zvakavadzingisa mupati. Okay, so during the 2018 elections, ZANU PF Youth Wing was highly visible, advocating for youth participation, given the increasing, youth votes in the country. What steps is the party taking to ensure young people have not only a voice but also actively involved, in shaping the party's future policies and also the leadership?
The president, in his inauguration speech in 2023, spoke to the fact that there is now, from 2018 to 2023, there was effective expansion in mining and agriculture, and that these should now be throughputs from a manufacturing economy. So the youth are the backbone of any economy, and as you can see, the president has been very active in ensuring that youths throughout the provinces are empowered. They're being factored into mining. They're being assisted to go into agriculture. They're being assisted to go into manufacturing because they are now the drivers of the economy.
Yeah.
That is their mandate as the youth of today, to ensure that this economic vision, which is the stage where we are at, we remember we wanted political independence. We wanted access to resources. Now that we have access to resources, we want to expand on these, and we want to these resources to translate and transform into economic progress.
Yeah.
So this is why you see the president is very aggressive in ensuring that the youths are connected to the economy, because these are the ones that are going to be the drivers of the economy. That is the mandate of the youth of today.
Okay. Now, that's fine. And also, it also happens that we have seen two messages within the party. Maybe let me ask you, do you agree that there is faction or factionalism as we speak in ZANU PF?
No, there is no factionalism in ZANU PF.
There's no factionalism?
No. What we have is, you need to understand that since its inception on the 8th of August in 1963, ZANU PF has always faced attacks from without, trying to bring instability, trying to cause, to disrupt cohesion between the leadership. We have got so many tragic examples from our history, the assassination of Chairman Chitepo, and so many other tragic incidents along those lines, which parallel forces always tried to use to destabilize the party. So the issue of factionalism is always something that has affected a lot of political parties within the region. And they still try to effect that methodology on ZANU PF, but
is it working?
No.
On ZANU PF?
No.
Are you affected by that?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Because we know what is the agenda. So we are a difficult party to sneak up on. We are a party built from war. So we are a party which is always alert. Because
the reason why I asked this, because there seem to be, the two messages, ED 2030 and that it wins our loyalty is to the people. So these are two messages. Doesn't that show division at the top?
ED 2030 came from the people. So those cannot be two different messages. If ED 2030 had not come from the people, maybe we'd have a story. But remember, this is a message that came from the people through the structures.
But probably the other one is actually saying, our loyalty is to the people, because varukuti izvi isitolati message ibve uku kamwe wachiti aiwa naruti zvakati but dzofamba dzakadaro dzese.
Yeah, but essentially only a person who doesn't know the methodology and the workings of ZANU PF would think that those two messages would be different.
Yeah.
Because the structures are the ones that said we want 2030. That is the people.
Yeah.
So if we are loyal to the people, then you are loyal to the 2030 mandate if you are within ZANU PF. Because that is where that message came from.
Yeah.
You cannot be loyal to the people and be disagreeing with something that they've officially communicated and methodically communicated.
Yeah,
there's methodology behind it. Yeah, so if the people have spoken methodically, then if you're for the people, you accept and respect what the people have said.
Speaking of factionalism, let's rewind to 2014, a year when ZANU PF's internal power struggle burst into the open, marking one of the party's most chaotic chapters since independence. At the heart of the turmoil was the question of succession. Who would take over from President Robert Mugabe, after more than 30 years in power? The main factions were Team Mujuru, led by former Vice President Mam Juru, a liberation war icon and long-time Mugabe ally. And also the Mnangagwa camp, Yainzi Team Lacoste then. You are aligned with the then Justice Minister Emerson Mnangagwa. Then came an unexpected twist. First Lady Grace Mugabe entered the political arena, taking over the Women's League, and her rise made it clear that the Mugabes were no longer neutral in factional fight. So now ZANU PF has made numerous promises. Factions mu party. But 2014 and went back. They were actually more visible, even for a toddler to see, to say, okay, there's something which is not right in the house.
Right now, what would be the basis for factions within ZANU PF? There's nothing to fight for. Yeah. chigaro chakagarwa saka vanhu vanongaita mafaction
I like that statement. But
so
being
essentially right now there are no factions. You must understand kuti as a party we also learn from history and from the past. We look for a better today in order to have the best future possible. So as ZANU PF we are not having any factions at present. We are focused on the economic mandate because we have decided as a party to really attune and align ourselves to the issues that are imperative on the people's minds and hearts. And that is the thrust of ZANU PF, which is why you've noticed that under the leadership of President Mnangagwa, ZANU PF is focused on delivery. We are not in the game of rhetoric. You find that those that throw rhetoric out there sometimes, most of the times, are not responding. When we communicate, we are communicating progress. Because this is what our people need to hear, and this is what our people need to see. Our duty is to ensure that we continue showing the people that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So this is something that we totally understand as members of ZANU PF. So kuti tizonzi tawana time yekuita zvefactionalism ama-headlines nema-newspapers but ma-structures medu
but inini ndauya zonzwisisa zvangu vamarapira kuti has ZANU PF truly healed from the past trauma, and because of tinango makadha zamanga munawo mupati asisirimo mupati andotara pa 2014 yakaitika maningi yeye nechinechi vamwe vachisirimo mupati nechinechi kufunga kwenye muchiona tingati bato rakanyatsohila.
Chinoitika ndechekuti ukarasika mukufamba nevamwe unogona kurangwa. But ZANU PF never blocks anyone for life. ZANU PF is always willing to take in new members or even retake old members, which is why you find kuti usually when we in the entire history of ZANU PF, if we punish a cadre and they show contrition and they seek to return, they are never maliciously refused. They are always readmitted. Because as ZANU PF, we work with the people, we work with numbers. So it is not something pleasing to put out a person because we focus on putting in people into ZANU PF. So nothing is permanent, especially punishment in ZANU PF. If any member...
I like the statement, nothing is permanent.
Yeah, especially punishment. So if people find contrition within themselves and wish to rejoin, the party is always willing to accept, yes.
We've got those who are in exile, the likes of Xavier Kasugwere, Patrick Joao, Jonathan Moyo, and others. Recently we've seen Walter Mzembe. He came back recently. Are you willing to take those back into the party?
Yes, when we say the party readmits, you readmit what Zingwaka. You cannot readmit as Nagudziko. Readmission means you were once party, you were thrown out, now you're coming back. So I believe that each and every one of them has complexities around their issues. We do not want to go into those. But there is no complexity without remedy, especially when it comes to ZANU PF. If certain measures are taken of contrition and certain measures are taken to show that one is genuine in their desire to rejoin, then ZANU PF, as far as we know, we always re-engage and readmit. Yes.
One of the key issues raised by critics of the party is the need for greater transparency and accountability within both the government and also the party itself. What steps is ZANU PF taking to address these concerns, especially with regards to corruption?
Well, corruption has been one of the biggest issues on the mind of the president. And I wish for you one day to invite Zek so that they communicate to the people.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, the work that they've been doing, because it is quite marvelous. So that they speak for themselves. They'll have greater detail than me. But, if you look at the level of corruption that we once had, and where we are now. Where we are now is where people just throw suppositions in the air. Trabablas was built, there was corruption, but nothing tangible is being shown. So you find that some of these allegations are now just maliciousness, but you find that the president has really put a firm grip on corruption and abuse. You no longer hear stories of companies that are paid to do a job and then they just take the money and do nothing and get away scot-free. They are no longer those stories. Tangible stories, real stories, not yeah. And you find that the president is keeping his ear very, very close to the ground, even going beyond corruption, even finding out what are the concerns, the daily concerns of the people. You know, the people were speaking on the health sector, and our first lady, she even went around and she went back and she told the president that, look, the situation is bad. So you're looking at a first family even that is very, very concerned with the people, that is very concerned with finding out the truth instead of taking reports. Yes. So this is something that is pushing our delivery forward, pushing our economy forward, pushing our development as a country forward. Yes. And as ZANU PF, we are proud of this stage we are in our development as a party.
Yeah. Mr. Marapira, long-standing Mnangagwa loyalist, who said they would stand by him until, the last breath, and now feel betrayed by a clique known as the Rich Gang, On the 23rd of December in 2024, Newsday reported, and I quote, loyalty to the president, Emmerson Mnangagwa, appears to be warning among some of his long-time foot soldiers as allegations of betrayal and factionalism within ZANU PF continue to surface. Close quote. So this article also said, and I quote, the so-called Rich Gang is accused of sponsoring factionalism within party structures and prioritizing its own interests over the welfare of long-time supporters. Close quote. So how do you respond to concerns that ZANU PF's internal unity is being undermined by privileged few protecting their own interest?
Well, I do not know who the Rich Gang is. I don't know.
Yeah.
But what I can tell you is that Zimbabwe is going through a new phase. This economic renaissance that is occurring under President Mnangagwa is creating millionaires. It is creating future billionaires. We are looking at indigenous people getting connected to the economy, indigenous people making money. It's not everyone who has made it in this economy who comes out in the newspapers. The indigenous Zimbabweans who are now multi-millionaires in mining. We started off as small-scale miners, medium-scale. Now we've got indigenous players, individuals, who we can count as large-scale players.
Yeah.
So I think this is a new phenomenon of super wealth within us as a people.
Yeah.
It used to be the preserve of a few. We will not speak of color, but yeah, But now, from that economic turmoil, as we rise from the ashes, we are now becoming masters of our own economy. We are now becoming the owners of our own economy.
Yeah.
So this is still a new phenomenon, and people are still trying to translate it and understand it. To understand the novel rich, the new people that are connected to the economy. People like Elder Tegure, people like Scott, people like Wickdale. These are still people that people are still trying to process because this is a new phenomenon. Which used to be a preserve of a race which was not of indigenous people.
But ipapo pane mashoko everuzhinji vamarapira vari kuti vanhu ivava vazhinji vane mazita mamwe amadoma vanhu vari kuvati aiwa vanhu ava vari kubenefita more from the government through matenders nechi ari kuvapfumisa nezvimwe zvakadaro, then maybe kuzobhadharawo kwavo kana matendo avo vanenge vachizosponsawo kupati.
Chinongoitika ndechoti kune vanhu vatova nemakore akawanda kupfuura vanhu ivavo vane matenda murumende. Asi kuti ava vanhu vekuti direction iri kutorwa navamnangagwa iri kuita kuti chero vari mubusiness vadewo kuwanikwa vari associated nemusangano. Vari kuda kutenda zvavari kuitirwa nechi nemusangano, the opportunities that have come from the economic policies of President Mnangagwa and ZANU PF, which are enriching the locals, you see. So when they come in, they are also assisting. They have done chakati for ZANU PF, but if you have to look at Comrade Aguirre, he has done so much for his own church. I just want to give another societal paradigm. The SDA, he has done a lot in the SDA locally. I don't know if it transcends the borders. You look at Wicknell Mpostori, he has done a lot within his church. But what people will just look at is not the fact that these are people that are empowering so many other different lives. It is because of that jaundiced vision that we want to teach ourselves never to see good in certain actions and certain aspects of how people are operating. You look at the work that has been done by Scott Kumabvuku, you know, free birth for Manum constituency. He has created a soccer team based around his constituency. Zvinhu transcend politics. These are things that are bringing direct changes into people's lives. You get my point? So this is the new step in the new direction of Zimbabwe, where we are becoming our own saviors. Where we are not going to be saying Madonna. We are becoming our own donors. But it's unfortunate it's people that appreciate and come back to ZANU PF to say, look, we appreciate. It is because of these policies. So they also want to join. They also want to be part of chunjaita kuti upenyu hwake iye huvandudzike iye achizovandudzwawo wevamwe. Yeah, but people just look to say vaisa izvi kuZANU PF. How about all the musicians vapiwa zvinhu na Wicknell? You know, avasi ZANU PF vese vamwe vanototukirira, but you know pachena. Yeah, pachena, but still he's appreciated them. But why are we not talking about that? So we need to understand and start respecting philanthropy from within. Because philanthropy from within, do philanthropy inoita kuti nyika ende mberi. When we become our own saviors and we become our own helpers, that's when we develop and grow as a country. So instead of always trying to lambast one another, always trying to pull each other down, always trying to say, and vanotukireva vakanzi hapana noramba. I don't know.
I don't know. Manyotora.
Antomanya. You see. Kana zananga iye akuti haiwa imamuda kuti ndirambe chichi. But nezuro ndiwaidi. So
kana zananga iye.
We must learn to be. Tofanga kudzidza kutenda.
Yeah.
Chunhu chero chisina kuuya pauri. You understand?
But vanhu vachinji vari kuti aiwa zvese zvitiri kuzviona asi paground the general population munhu ari kustruggle. Tikaenda kuzvipatara tiri kuona hakuna mishonga, tikaenda kuzvipatara tiri kuona hakuna michina yekushandisa kana cancer, hatisi kuona vanhu vazhinji vada kurapwa chacho nezvimwe zvinhu zviri kuti hamuna radiotherapy, hakuna zvinhu zvakadaro izvozvo. Saka vanhu vachiti dai kamari kamboendawo futi ikoko kuti zviite, kana kuti musangano kana kuti wehealth vakambonokumbira kana kunzi nyika haina mari kune maindividual techo kuti at least pangweni zvinenge zvakavarerukira kumbonokumbira kuti no tadati tibatsiro kutitengerwa michina yecancer paparenyatwa mutitengerwa michina yecancer kuimpilo kuti zvifambe. Ndo mashoko amwe anenge achishwirwa nevanhu handifungi kuti vakabva yatsoramba kuti aiwa hatisi kuda kuti vachivhai vatitengere dzimota. Vanhu havasi kuramba kuti vatagwirei ngavatibatsire mune zvavanokwanisa kuti tiwane kudya mune dzimwe nzvimbo nezvimwe, asi vari kuti zvava zvichidii kuti pamari imwe yacho iyoyo government yokumbira vakomana ava kuti waisawo something kuhealth. Ndo chikumbiro chine vanhu.
Kana iri issue kuhealth, isu sebato as the party we are very happy kuti you know the president went and he saw for himself. When as a party what we know is kuti when the president sets foot on a problem, that problem is solved.
Yeah.
You saw kuti within 24 hours wabva papari there was a papatoitwa 5 maboho
dara
marenovation atotanga. So if it's the health sector, I know kuti with the work ethic and the strictness in emukuru wedu, within a few months, the change that we've all been crying for inenge yavapo.
Saka ipapo pando pane mibvunzo yevanhu vamarapira kuti alright zvakatonaka tova munhu vakaenda vakanozvionera first hand vachiona kuti hey ndozviri panapa izvi kwapa pakadayorinza hapana kwadabuka izvi hapana chakati vachitonyatsoona vega kusvika pasi pama-hours akambowanda zvinhu zvanga zvatanga kutogadzirwa ndo panobaya mibvunzo yevanhu vazhinji kuti okay saka where is the minister of health or what is he doing kana kuti pavari kumboenda ikoko kumaminister of health nemadeputy avo nechi havasi kuonere zvinhu why pasiri kutorwa action why is it tinofanira kumirira kuti mukuru wenyika wange ndivo vari kuenda paground kunoona zvinhu kuti pazoitwa action vamwe vakatotora neimwe nzira vachiti maybe some of the ministers are actually sabotaging the president kuti zviite sekuti valuke bad until ivo president vaenda paground zvinhu zvochinjwa. Why is that so?
Isi chatogona ngotaura ndechekuti kana president vachiona chanaka ndo patoperera
kana wakona zvanaka
kana president vazvona, which is what is important. What is important is kuti zviitike. What was happening before, even as a party tinenge tichitoda kuti tizota tichiwana maanswers pamberi kuti why did it have to take so long and a personal visit by the principal for things to move. It's also concerning to us as a party, but I'm sure all things will come to light.
Okay. Mr. Marapira, I hear you, but when you have respected war veterans and loyalists, openly saying they feel betrayed, when private WhatsApp groups like Darire Joto, are full of frustration, and when senior insiders talk of a dark shadow undermining the old guard, doesn't that point to serious discontent under the surface, even if it is the official message?
Well, that group is not an official ZANU PF group. So it could be a group created by disgruntled members. There is no movement. There is no collective of people. Whether it is a soccer team, it is a church, chero istaka kura kuduzire mamaini chero group resgure. Not everyone will always be happy within a grouping. There will always be someone and a disgruntlement. It is the nature of societal interactions. Because at the end of the day, even politics, it's a societal interaction. So it is the nature of societal interactions kuti you cannot please everyone. Which is why society has developed to come up with democracy to say, look, we can never have a unanimous decision on everything. So let us say the majority decide. So it is not also kuti we say people should not be dissenting. We also look into that. Because for us to govern and for us to be a party that stays in touch with the people, we do not need to listen more to praises than criticisms. So we actually listen more to those criticisms. So you find that the president was seeing that there was a lot of traffic on the health sector on social media and other media channels. So this is why it ended up with the First Lady also visiting and the President eventually visiting. We always keep track of what the people are saying. What is making them happy? How can we make it better? What is making them angry? How can we solve it? You understand? That is servant leadership, which the President spoke of in 2018 when he said, we are going to move into servant leadership as a party. So this is it. And this is how it works. So my dissenting groups it's not a sign of division. But it is a sign that we are vibrant and we are democratic. Because people have a platform in which to voice. Do
you also take that into consideration as well? And also, what do you do about it?
Definitely, the president visited Parenyatwa because people were complaining. So atinototerera zvinonge zvichichemwa nekugunun'uniwa neveruzhinji.
Chimwe changachipisa kana kuti chichiri kupisa director inyaya dzezvigananda. That term is actually popular now. Ukataka mari uchigananda. Like maybe you are loyal to the party, chigananda, something like that. So the leeches, right? We've heard the Vice President's speech lately. He talks of ending corruption, nezvigananda. Can you please clarify, what this means or what he means by this kuti zvigananda? Uye ndanani vari kutaurwa nezvigananda?
Chigananda is not anyone in particular. Chigananda is a term which ZANU PF carries from the Liberation War. Chigananda was someone who would be self-focused instead of being focused on the majority. So this is prevalent in society at every level. There are always people that are selfish. Always people that will self-develop at the expense of everyone. ZANU PF ipati yogutsa ruzhinji. We are not focused on individuals. We are a party which believes in ensuring that each and everyone has got equal access. Or a modicum of that. So when we speak of Zvigananda, we are speaking against those that would want to selfishly be with all the resources at the expense of the others. Yes, it speaks even against the concept of Ubuntu. Yes. As to who can be a Zvigananda, we do not know. Sometimes when leadership speaks, sometimes not necessary to name a name. Pano tsiurwa, it's azvinzwira. Adi?
Azvinzwira.
Yeah, that's what we leave it at.
Azvinzwira. Mr. Marapira, critics, they're saying ZANU PF doesn't just ignore corruption. It protects the looters. What's your response to claims that your party has become a safe haven for economic criminals?
I can simply challenge someone to say, anyone who has got evidence of this, who has taken it before the authorities and then nothing has happened to these people, can proceed. To show, to say, that evidence munaita is. Tikando reporta tikaisa umbo up haana chakaitwa otherwise tinenge tangodzokera futi pachi parhetoric tangodzokera pakungotaura nhando.
Kuno vachangoti bata ndikutaura pano nemutauriri webato reZANU PF vanoitwa iwo Mr. Farai Marapira ndo vatinawo pano tichinzwa nyaya dzakawanda nyaya dziri kutaurika within the party yeZANU PF nemimwe mibvunzo yamagara muchinayo muchikutitumira tichinzwa kuti zvamungade kunzwisa pamusoro pebato reZANU PF nezviri kuitika ikoko zvakamira sei. Ndo mibvunzo yatiri kutaura pano navaMarapira. Marapira, still on that, when Blessed Geza announced about the march, first strike, you posted in a quote, 31 March, it's business as usual. They can march on social media if they want, never on our streets, close quote. After that, it was it was last laugh for ZANU PF as mass protest failed. Rumors had it that you paid Mapurisa $50 kuti Mapurisa varowe vanhu. How far true are these allegations? Not nyaya yaitaurika even but kuitwa kuna va 50 abuda achinzi ZANU PF yabuditsa.
ZANU PF does not pay the police. Tinotosungwa nemapurisa kana tatadza. We are under the laws of the land. So there is never a scenario where ZANU PF can be found.
Papa is pane ma 50 akaiswa accounts emapurisa kuzoti
akabva kunani. Kana vane mabudget avo.
Mapurisa pane ka 50 asa akasukuzana ndege.
Kana vane mabudget avo ikoko as the police. Isu hatipindi seZANU PF atimazi.
Akana mabonus.
Atozivo. Toda tobvunzawo kuti kune kwedu tisina kuona mabonus. Aiwa isusu tiri pasi pebumbiro remutemo and tinosapota nekudefenda separation of powers. Hatina seZANU PF patinokwanisa kuudzira mapurisa zvekuita. Hatikwanisi seZANU PF sebato kupa mapurisa mabonus
we have seen in other countries, citizens, if they want to protest, if they want to protest, but vanhu protest, even now data protest, because people are why, is it like that when you maybe my protest are protest zvirimu moyo yavo kuti haisi hatisi kufara nenyaya yakati. Probably they want to protest against nyaya dzehealth, probably they want to protest against whatever corruption, they want to protest against zvese. Why is it that we then see heavy police crackdown ichichivepo even recently pane dzatataradzana gesa dzakanga dzisina kupinda dzisina kuzobudira zvadzo? Why was there a heavy police crackdown on veterans calling for rejection of the 2030?
Because vanoronga ma-demonstrations, these people, they are malicious towards their supporters and towards the law itself. Because demonstration hairambidzi, but in my protocols and follow you notify the police, and so on. But you realize that most of the times when they announce and encourage these demonstrations, there will be no applications, and they know that in the absence of an application, vanhu vavo kana vari kusapota zvavari kutaura vakapinda pastreet vachakonana nemapurisa ndo zvavanenge vachida kuita kuti kunobva gwalangwa redi
anenge ari ma-sponsored demonstrations. That's what you're saying.
It's about money. Mabasa anosiyana, it's about money. Ndo zvamongoona kuti
so who are the beneficiaries, like the planners?
Nyoka yemabhunu nemabhuru ake, now they are fighting. We said it, that this is just a money-making gimmick. Right now, if you look at the headlines, they are fighting over that money. Yes. So, when you say it, at the time you say it, people will attack you. Atanga director, atanga wakuvurika, and so on. But time will always vindicate and bring it out to the fore to know this is the truth. If I had lied, and these people will use people, but that money they make from this enterprise will go into their pockets. The people that organize these demonstrations have got a simple duty to approach the police, follow the laws of the land, which are in line with the constitution. Then they will have their demonstration rakanaka. But
vazhinji vanonga vachiti pese paunosika these applications to say we want to demonstrate, even from the police, havasi kugrandwa those permissions to say go ahead, and the police will be there to protect you as well.
What happens is kuti there are several guidelines. I'll give an example of it was the 2023 elections. Opposition initiative wanted to do a rally, the usual rhetoric to Rambidzo. And only to show them we had more rallies refused than them. You understand?
Sibatu.
Yes. Yes, definitely. Because tripas pemtemo. Yes, tripas pemtemo. So this is the issue that will just be there. Kuti ivo vanofangwa kunzwisisa kuti kana mati all right, imimi muri kumirira vanhu, muri kuda kuita demonstration yekufufila madesires evanhu. Chiitai kuti muzvitika pamutemo, muchengetedza vanhu venyu. But even they will go there and make sure their cameras kuti vaite an illegal demonstration, vanhu varohwe. Then kana vanhu varohwa vomanya nema-headlines, no rule of law, suppression of the people's voice, this. You get my point? Tiriodi. Mario Pinda.
All right. No, as Naguiba.
And they know this is true.
As you guys know, it's true.
Know those that organize these illegal demonstrations, this is true.
Maybe if you guys disagree with what Comrade Marapira is saying here, you can also come and just prove to us as well. We'll just give you the same platform.
Pavaka apply vakapiwa permission vakarohwa.
Okay. Okay, put nyaya dzakaona dzinotaura bozi vechinzi bozi ZANU PF sezvo iri in power, maprivileges aya anenge akati one day zvinogona kuti maprivileges aya ozowedzera kusvika yato corruption, yato serious. You have promised zero tolerance to corruption for years as ZANU PF, but what real changes have happened now? And also maybe, or is it just maybe tingangoti language for the campaigns kuti vanhu muwane mavotes kuti no to corruption this time around, atichatodi corruption iri nyaya yekuwana mavotes?
Ola ndosaka ndati I would love kuti pamboita munhu wekuzeka anomboya pana ombopa vanhu zvinhu zvaitika. Then people actually realize kuti there's work that is being done out there. Pantoda munhu ane the proper statistics.
Yeah.
Auye. We have a very, very serious zero tolerance to corruption. Because, you know, corruption is one of the cancers that stops economic progression. Corruption is one of the things that it disturbs a lot of economic growth. So as ZANU PF, our mandate is to ensure that the economy grows. So our enemy is anything that prevents us delivering that mandate. Yes, it would be on one. So corruption is one of those right at the top. So the hatred within ZANU PF for corruption is very, very serious. It's palpable.
We've seen frequent expulsions, Mambotibate from Mutasa, Meliswa, the Gomez, and numerous others in 2025, based on vague charges like disrespecting leadership and also undermining the president, like you said. Yet there is no public record of fair disciplinary hearings. Can you just explain why ZANU PF handles these sensitive internal matters behind closed doors, and why party members are judged and removed without due process or transparency? Is expulsion a tool to silence dissent?
First and foremost, mkoma ola apana musha unondotonga darera upabawa. Muno varamaged. Mupinda mba. Motaurana. Chinozungunzo ari panze ndichokuti uyu mukomana kanzi achadi kuonekwa pamba.
Zvadhakwa.
So as ZANU PF, that is what we also do. We are not a party that panders to the media. We are a party which is homely. We are a party where we view ourselves as family. So even by the time someone gets to a point of expulsion, there will be warnings, processes within our party. There will be warnings until the eventual disciplinary hearing, which is then ratified by the Politburo. People don't just expel each other. The Politburo has to, the most senior organ, has to agree to the reasons behind this. But as a party, it does not benefit us to scandalize someone. We believe that their expulsion is enough. And expulsion is meant for someone to go and find themselves and recalibrate themselves to the desires and the direction of the party. And if they feel that they want to rejoin, they come and they rejoin. If they feel that they're done with the party, then they continue with their lives.
So if there is no room to challenge the leadership within ZANU PF without risking expulsion, can the party truly claim to be democratic?
No one said there is no room to challenge leadership. There is room to challenge leadership. There is room to speak your mind. But there is also a demand for decorum. With every right comes a duty. If you are going to speak your mind, do not speak your mind to the detriment of others. If you are going to exercise your rights to access something, do not exercise your rights to the point of injuring or disturbing the rights of others. So this is just natural justice. No one is expelled for speaking their mind, but the manner in which one may speak and the utterances in which one may make. Because you find, for example, Blessed Geza speaking of telling people, go on the streets, march, remove the president. As a party, we cannot tolerate that. You are no longer speaking your mind. You are speaking insurrection. You are speaking treachery. And you are speaking something which is totally out of line with party values. So essentially, those become the grounds for expulsion. Not against, no one has been expelled for speaking their minds or questioning something. Coming up as members when we were still in the youth. One of our slogans was Asingazi and so that if you need to understand better or if you find that someone is ignorant to something, do not castigate them. Teach them, show them. This is why I'm just giving one of the examples behind my slogans within the party. So no one is castigated for speaking their mind. If you speak your mind and we feel that you are losing your way from the party, but as you rise and as you gain seniority, it means you are not speaking from a point of lacking knowledge. uri munhu ari kuziva zvaari kuita. Yes.
Okay, matsanangura nyaya I think panyatsojeka pakubuditswa kwevanhu mupati nemabudiro nezvinoita kuti vabude ndanzwa muchinyatsopatsanangura ipapo ndapabata I'm sure vari kumba vari ku-understand as well. In one of the interviews I had Vakasukwere saying he is still a ZANU PF party member. Is he a member of your party?
Handizvitorma structures up.
Because he said andina hearing ndakaenda andina akandidzinga, it's because ndakauya kunoku ndiri exile, but andina kudzingwa mupati, I'm still a ZANU PF. So we want to understand from the party itself, kuti what's the position? Is he a ZANU PF member? And some of his, my colleagues are now.
Well, pana ishu dzana Vakasukwere dzichazogadzirwa nenguva yadzo. Let's not speak much on that.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Iyo kana vada kuwadzana nevamwe vanoziva tinosangana pakati sei.
Okay,
saka imwe dzinenge dzangova unaro ngoda kungowanza mashoko.
All right. Marapira, ZANU PF promised economic revival, quality healthcare, and zero tolerance for corruption after both the 2018 and 2023 elections. Can you safely say that as a party, you have delivered on these promises?
The reason we are re-elected every 5 years is because we put priority on delivering. And if you are to look at 2018 to date, you can realize that the party has become very, very serious on ensuring that our people are living a better life, ensuring that our economy is rising. And our economy is rising on our terms. We will not fall apart under sanctions like we did before. So I believe that as ZANU PF, right now we are delivering over and beyond our manifestos and mandate. Yes. We want to be ahead of our promise, ahead of every target we've given. So which is why you see now we've broken records in platinum production, gold production. We've broken records in wheat production. We've broken records in maize production. We are maize and wheat self-sufficient. We've expanded irrigable land by more than 40,000 hectares.
But the says background of Marapira. Background, inflation reached 14.6% in US dollar terms in January 2025. Unemployment hovers unofficially at 47 to 90%. Public hospitals are understaffed, underpaid, and stock out, as confirmed by one of your own, Tino Machagere, and Transparency International ranks Zimbabwe 158th out of 180 for corruption. Why should Zimbabweans trust your promises when the economy is failing, health services are collapsing, and corruption is worsening?
First and foremost, allow me to call out Transparency International. There's nothing transparent about them. There's nothing international about them. They are just agenda-driven entity. We do not respect anything they say. Then chinonzi employment mkoma ola with sanctions our economic structure has changed. If we use traditional economic structures of measuring employment, which is going with NASA, to say how many people are paying their NASA, how many people are paying pay as you earn, you come up with very, very low employment numbers.
Yeah,
it's because from the economic challenges we've had, very few people in our economy were connected to the tax because we were an informal economy. So this is what the propaganda machine of neo-imperialism has been using to say that people that they come and say, okay, give us your pay as you earn numbers, give us your NASA numbers, give us this and that.
Yeah.
And those numbers will be low because we are running an informal economy.
Yeah.
Then they say there's no employment in Zimbabwe. Mind you, we are not saying that we are at an optimum position. What we are the stage we're at is we are putting up the building blocks which can create a better tomorrow without borrowing from tomorrow. We are eating what we kill but preparing for a better future. Tiri pakuvaka imba isati yapera. Asi chiripo ndechoti tikuona kuti imba yapa window level, imba yapakati, imba ichapera tizogara mimba yakanaka. Asi pari zvino tinogona kunge tisiri kugara patinodi patinoda, tisiri kufuka ratinoda, asi icho chatiri kugadzira ndeicho, ende ndokwatiri kuenda, which is why we speak of light at the end of the tunnel. We do not want to say hatina ma-challenges. We do have them, and ndo atiri kushanda, hatisati tamapedza, tichiri parwendo. Yes, tichiri parwendo. But what is important is to see kuti pane progress iri kutoitika yekuti ndokwatakananga.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, dzimwe nguva what is important is not kuti titarise kuti tiri pakati pari zvino tine dambudziko rakati nerakati, asi kutarisa kuti icho tagadzira. Glass half empty, glass half full.
Okay.
Yes. Saka ndo nharo dzatinadzo kuti vamwe vanoramba vachingoona kuti hapana ichi. Isusu sevanhu vari kuvaka tichigadzira tinongeta kutotaura kuti icho tabvisa the building blocks to a better economy, which is why we speak of Vision 2030.
So it means you are happy with the progress?
Yes. We are happy, but as long as you are moving forward, you always want to move fast.
Yeah.
So in as much as we say we acknowledge the progress, we would love to move faster.
Okay.
Yes. And we keep trying to look for ways to move faster.
We've heard the senior army commander, saying ZANU PF will rule until donkeys grow horns. I call it that. And even encouraging, what he called command voting. Many people felt that, was a dangerous mixing of military and political power. So, as the party's mouthpiece, do you condone that kind of language?
I think
Okay. Papi.
Former army commander was addressing Vasanyatwe, and he spoke on kuti ZANU PF chatonga zvaka madhonga ita nyanga. Ndo chishuwiro chedu.
Exactly. Say ZANU PF.
Chishuwiro chedu.
Right.
That's why we're in politics. So that we rule forever.
Yeah.
Chishuwiro chedu. He was just expressing the confidence based on the works of President Mnangagwa kuti nemashandiro atiri kuita nezvatiri kuitira vanhu tichatonga kusvika madhonga aita amera nyanga. But a person can only be responsible for what they say. They cannot be responsible for how people are going to take it, interpret and run with it. Yeah, so ndo zvakangoitika ipapo.
Tamashogwe iwayo. What about the command voting?
Command voting. Inonzi political band.
But political banda, when it goes viral,
that's
people
the
then
thing.
take it the way they want.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's political band. Chamisa kati ndikajikona Mnangagwa nchapandra dyangu takaimirira.
That's not boy that you boom. I had to do it. As it oh my god,
political banter, we never took it serious.
It's banned.
It's banned.
Okay.
But of course, vanhu vanobva tongochitoroda kuchitena kuti vachite serious. Yeah.
Okay. So now let's talk about the opposition. National interest requires a clear opposition to hold the ruling party accountable. However, we have seen opposition leaders, causing up to ZANU PF. A group of CCC lawmakers led by self-styled Sengezo Chabangu, visited President Mnangagwa's pre-K farm in Kwekwe. Some were captured chanting slogan in support of extending President Mnangagwa's term to 2030. In fact, Job Scholar has called the CCC, who are currently sitting in parliament, plundered puppets in courts. So while Farai Marapira described it as a mockery of parliament, turning it into a political theater, not real oversight. So this rather causes a dynamic between the ruling party and the opposition. Does it not muddy the lines between party and opposition, also undermining democratic checks and encouraging a false unity?
Well, it speaks to the immaturity of our democracy in certain members of our society when they find something amiss in people of different political persuasions sitting down to break bread. Opposition leaders and ruling party leaders represent the same society. So if we are representing the same society, how do we sit down to parley and ensure that we collectively ensure that that one society we are leading is brought to a better tomorrow? That's politics of hatred, politics of separation, which believes that if I do not think the same way you do, then we can never sit down together. We can never be found associating. That's not maturity in politics. That's not maturity in politics. So what happened at Precap Farmers, maturity. Kuti, we think differently. Our ideologies are different. As is Zimbabwe one. Apana cheka about tisangane tionesane tiudzana chokwadi kuti ayo nokuti anokudza chokwadi chepa unorasika mupikisano wako ngatisangane iwo muri kurasika apa iwo imwe muri kurasika apa asi mese muchibva ipapo madzidza kuti
so
nyika ende mberi.
Is that what happened ku Precap Farm? Did the opposition MPs got the chance to tell you guys good up and the Precap, or it was not like that?
Well, by mere interaction,
yeah,
people have conversation, and being members of different political parties does not make us enemies. I think this is something that some members in the opposition need to understand. Kuti kutuka umwe does not make you a better person. Kumukira nekuswera kutsoropodza umwe is not what makes you a better person. What makes you a better person is kuti unoti shamari iwe urufanga kuita ichi neichi for now, ita ichi uri kusarira apa gadzira apa and paagona umuchira kuti apa wadi
wagona.
Yes. This politics of trying to always be hateful, of trying to always be in a position it does not benefit the country.
Yeah.
It only benefits a few individuals and their pockets. And that is mercenary politics. Yeah, so I think those and others like them who are like-minded, they know themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
As they know themselves.
They know themselves.
Mr. Marapira, the mass recalls of CCC MPs by Sengazo Chabangu, whose authority remains disputed, have crippled the opposition and strengthened ZANU PF's dominance in parliament. Critics say this looks like a strategy, a strategic political maneuver to create a one-party state. And also critics and other, many analysts say the recalls created a one-party dominance effect, effectively tilting power in favor of ZANU PF. While Job Scholar, a prominent opposition voice, stated in a court, ZANU PF is using Chabangu to finish what the 2023 election failed to destroy, a functioning opposition, close quote. So what's your response to claims that ZANU PF is benefiting from and possibly coordinating this destabilization of, from behind the scenes? Zulutonzi, as party, you are responsible for the collapse of CCC.
Well, it's unfortunate that we have some people in opposition who are still in denial as to their own weaknesses and shortcomings. I was quite surprised to see an interview of Tendai Biti, where he was actually confirming and speaking on these issues.
Yes.
And he moved away from ZANU PF infiltration, and started to agree that no, we're failing to find one another. So we need this kind of maturity
within their party.
Yes, they need to have that kind of maturity to take the bull by the horns, address their shortcomings. As ZANU PF, we do not mind having an opposition.
Yeah.
Yes, our agenda is to just keep on winning elections. You understand?
Yeah.
So we do not mind an opposition, but they need to come to terms of reality with one another and to address these instead of always trying to continuously blame ZANU PF. We wish we had so much power as they give us.
As they give us. But ZANU PF has consistently benefited politically when the opposition is divided, whether through recalls, internal splits, or leadership disputes. Given this context, what is this, the official ZANU PF position on fostering a democratic environment whether a strong and united opposition can operate freely as required in a multi-party system?
Well, to benefit, indeed, there are certain benefits which comes out of their confusion and lack of organization. Pabora imwe timu ikapiwa kana 3 ma-red card. Vachiri wakakwana muground vanenge vane disadvantage.
Yeah.
So it is not us, but themselves. You see, the toxic nature of their politics or eventually always comes back to bite them. Because people that do politics of failing to find one another with anyone they believe differs in opinion.
Yeah.
The minute they begin differing in opinion amongst themselves, Chatokala Ola, they will lose one another.
Yeah.
Because they've never had it within their DNA to be people who are able to sit down, discuss, and find one another.
Yeah.
So this is one of the major reasons. It's always them being hoisted by their own petard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as ZANU PF, we wish to have a vibrant but responsible opposition. An opposition which puts Zimbabwe first. An opposition which is focused on the betterment of our country. Not to think that to be in opposition is to insult, to criticize, and to create fake stories about anyone you do not agree with. No, that's not it.
Yeah. Director Marapira, in communities across Zimbabwe, issues like drug abuse, youth unemployment, early child marriage is becoming, increasingly visible. How is ZANU PF addressing these social problems in real life, not just through speeches?
Issue of drug abuse. We have really activated our structures, the Youth League, the Women's League, the main, to ensure that our members within communities have been very vibrant in ensuring that where there are issues of drug abuse, they report these to the police. And they cascade these also through the structures so that we always as a party try to make follow-up to say, okay, this issue you reported, was it followed up? Then we have our own local leadership within the area. These go and liaise with the police to make these reports to say we have this challenge and to also educate our youth and try to show them the dangers that are behind this drug abuse, because this drug abuse is a very serious challenge within our society and it really needs addressing.
Okay, small businesses and vendors say they don't get enough support. What help is being given to them to grow? Secondly, people in the rural areas still lack good roads, water, and electricity. What is the government doing to improve their lives?
Well, there's the presidential ball scheme. The target of the presidential ball scheme is to reduce the walking distance of each and every Zimbabwean to get potable water. So that is the thinking and the logic behind the presidential ball scheme. And with this, at every ball, there's a community garden to ensure that there's always relish, the basics. Because we start with the basics as we build up.
Yeah.
And if you look at devolution, we have, I do not have the exact figure, but we have built so many new clinics using devolution funds to also reduce the distance walked by citizens to their nearest clinic, especially in the rural areas.
Yeah.
And we are also on the road rehabilitation program. We have started with our main trunk roads, Bad Bridge Harare and so on. And it is extending into the rural areas, finding that these roads are being repaired, bridges are being rebuilt and so on. So this is part of the work that is being done by the president.
Yeah.
Yes. To ensure that the lifestyle of each and every Zimbabwean is upgraded from where it was before. This is the point of devolution, so that the benefits of a ZANU PF government are within walking distance of everyone. Yes.
Another issue that has been causing raised eyebrows is the appointment Yaba Tagwirei as a part of the ZANU PF Central Committee member. Some have said that this signal that ZANU PF is now under the growing control of business elites. Munobapindro say ipapapa.
It's ZANU PF is under control of my elites, but as ZANU PF we want to attract and have membership from all walks of life, because it means we infuse ourselves with all the necessary knowledge. We want lawyers, we want doctors, we want farmers, we want miners, we want business people, all to be members of ZANU PF, so that we have a wider pool of knowledge which is patriotic, a wider pool of knowledge which is attuned to the ZANU PF ideology. So when we see successful business people wanting to join ZANU PF, it is an exciting time for us, because it means that as ZANU PF there's something we're doing right, which is drawing in the business community. Yes, this is just one prominent business person. There are so many others who are quiet but who are joining ZANU PF at different structures and different levels of the party. Yes. Speaking
of Watagure, he is leading the committee seeks to fast track title deeds distribution. Critics have said that the fact that this is being done without amending the constitution, makes the whole move illegal and undermines the land reform program. How do you, as the party ZANU PF, defend this practice wa Marapira? And also ZANU PF inonzi ibato le vanhu ka uyi kuchengetedza tsika dzedu sununguko asi mukati mune vanhu vari kuwana upfumi through state contracts and party influence. How do you restore the party's integrity amid growing mistrust and also kusoreka kwe party, because it looks like it's serving the interests of a few individuals?
Well, varikutsi zvatinoita hazvisi constitutional. Matare moshariko. They are welcome to go there and we resolve it. Yeah, because we will spend a lot of time on media. Munanona panochukura mutema anoza kundoreport. Yes, they know the steps to take. If this is unconstitutional, they know what to do. So they must go ahead and do it if they are sure of what they're saying. Then the second part you're saying
ndo barachibvunza kuti mumubato kama musebato revanhu kuchengetedza tsika dzerusununguko asi mukati muri kunzi wazhinji mune vanhu vari kuwana upfumi through state contracts.
Well, you must know that in any country the government is the biggest contractor. So the majority of people who make a living, are people who supply or get contracts of certain nature from government. Though it's the nature of business. And if people are pointed in that direction, they're not being pointed towards corruption, they're being pointed towards an avenue. There are people that I know that do very well supplying cleaning utensils only.
Okay.
Yeah. Mamop, brooms.
Yeah. But
they are looking after their families very well. Yeah, so that's the nature of things. So that's what we encourage our people to do. And it's not being done through ZANU PF. You just have to put your ear on the ground, find out which minister is a tender, for example, which parastatal is a tender. You just engage, you put your entrepreneurial glasses on. That's what we're encouraging people to do.
Yeah. Mr. Marapira, on December 21, 2024, a Newsday report titled, and I quote, ZANU PF provincial structures accused Tagwirei of fueling divisions, quoted senior officials telling the president that although Tagwirei was supporting them, he was also financing those supporting Vachiwenga. This is sponsoring factionalism and it cannot be tolerated. Close quote. So, as the party's spokesperson, how does ZANU PF respond to allegations that key business figure like Vatagure are financing rival factions within the party, and also what steps are being taken to protect party unity?
There are no factions in ZANU PF. That's the first point. Then Pejipiri, kuti tinzi vapa uyu vanhu vari muZANU PF ndovava Mnangagwa nekuti ndiye first secretary wedu ndo zviripo ivo vachivenga vanotosapotawo vaMnangagwa vamwe vadhi vanototeerawo vachisapota vaMnangagwa saka hakuna kuti kuna ava tese tiri vava Mnangagwa.
Mubvunzo umwe uri kubva kuvanhu hanzi, how can ZANU PF justify letting a businessman lead land tenure policy, especially when legal experts say, the deeds unconstitutional and could undo land reform?
What we're simply saying is he can be leading. There is no way he's going to be leading the land tenure committee, and there is no influx of legal minds. For the committee to have been set up, legal minds will have set first. That's why I said the legal minds that are saying that this is unconstitutional, they know where to go. They do not offset unconstitutional matters in newspapers and media rooms. They go to court.
Okay. Vamwe vari kuti ndivunga mubvunzo iyoyo ndikati maonera aya ma-speculations ari mustreet manje anoda kuti mimi semutauriribo maya set the record straight. I've seen him vatagurei ndakatoona clip yao recently vachiti no, I don't have to be the president, like what people are saying, it means kuti ma-speculations aya ndivunga nemunzvedza vakaita sei akasvikawo. Saka toda kuti tinzwewo kubato kuti zvakanyatsomeresa zviri kunzi panenge pari kugadzirwa ground ravatagwirei, pane ma-speculations of succession yekuti maybe ndo vakangosiyirwe nyanga. Ma-speculations aya ari kufamba within the party, ari kufamba within ma-corridors mamwe ema-oppositions, ari kufamba kwese, like I said kuti kana iyo ndovunga vakatozvinzwa vatagwirei, that's why vakazoti you guys inini handapa. Saka separty pakanyatsobera zetipeiwo maonero chaiwo echokwadi position yeparty.
Isusu kupati pfungwa dzesuccession dzanga dzati dzavapo. Pfungwa dzedu kupati dziri pakusapota vaMnangagwa kuti policy dzavo
dzifambe
kumusangano. Pfungwa dzesuccession dzanga dzati dzavapo.
Alright.
Saka hamenowo kwadzinenge dzichibva, but hakusi kuZANU PF. Aiwa kunoku hatisati taanadzo.
Pane resolution 1 yakaitwa ya 2024.
Pfungwa dzedu dziri paresolution number 1.
Okay.
Neeconomy
chete
succession tatisati taanadzo.
Marapira so ZANU PF yagara iri muhurumende kubva muna 1980. So over the past 40 years in power, munotiwo kudii nezveperformance yebato renyu kuti over the past 40 years dzayagara iri mupower, especially in areas like service delivery, youth unemployment, corruption, economic challenges, kuti munopapindurawo sei imimi nekugara kwamaita muri mupower kwenguva yakareba uye neprogress yaitwa neparty so far?
Isusu toti kubva 1980 we've done a lot of work in clearing my colonial discrepancies that were there. Takatora nyika nezvikwereti zvayo. Kariba yanga isina kupedza kubhadhagwa, tisi takapedza kubhadhara vana Kariba. Zvikoro zvakavakwa zvizhinji zvazviri zvevapambi pfumi. So we've done a lot of work trying to build up our people, and we are one of the best producers of mines in Africa, if not the world. Chero nyika yaindwa muZimbabwe nane mbiri yekushanda, mbiri yekufunga, mbiri yekudzidza, mbiri yekuziya. That is a powerful legacy. That's a powerful identity. And we are very proud of the Zimbabweans in the diaspora. Vanosumudza flag yedu high, because that is a wonderful reputation for a country to have. Dzimwe nyika dzinenge dzine reputation kuti mukaona vauya crime yedu yakwira yadi. But wherever they go, they have really made us proud. So isusu tinopa vanhu maruva avo. We always want to appreciate our people in the diaspora. They've done very well. They have represented us well. So we come to today. As a society, tinoita ma-ups and ma-downs. We went through ma-sanctions. Ma-sanctions akayanzotirova because, we were economy yanga iri yema-multinational companies. And they just closed in mass. Olivina yangu muka isiku. After dang, So now we are in a better position because we are now the masters of our means of production. So it has been a a long journey in our ups and downs, but we have a lot of wins.
Yeah.
And especially now, if one is to look at it, yes, our lives are not yet where patuda kungetiri munhu wese aridawo kuti dai ndasvika apa ichokwadi, but we tine trajectory, tine direction.
Yeah.
You know, vamunanga gwati pa that vision yekuti onai trikuita izvi. Saka anenge ane muono anotoona kuti zvitina zviri kutosumudza mudhuri kutosumuka brick by brick. You understand? Ndopa zvinenge zvichibva kuti imba inovakwa chitina chero katiri kuita sei panotoiswa chitina choiswa cement, chitina choiswa cement kusvika imba yadi yapera. Ende imba haimbofi yakasumuka isina kutanga nefoundation. Hautangi nerufu, wotanga kuisa chitina pasi uchisumudza rufu. So chakakosha is we are on the way, and we are moving at a good speed. Yes, we would want to move faster, but what's important is we are moving. We are going there, and it's quite an exciting time, because vanemuono vari kuona how it's being built. You know, even IMF yakauya and they confirmed kuti no basa riri kudi varikurowa harisati rakutranslata muhomwe. Ndosaka vakawanda vachiramba chidi vachipopota kuti vari kutaura chiva IMF, but brick by brick ndio yaoneka vachiona kuti aiwa izvi zvitina muri kuzvileya zvakanaka. Spirit level haisi kupotsa
ndizvozvo.
Builder vamunangagwa vari kuvaka.
Then the party ine ma-areas ainonyanyo accuswa nevanhu asina kuita zvakanaka, atingati zving'ang'a kana kuti ma-areas, ma-grey areas, ekuti in as much as party iri kukura and ine man but ine mainenge chidzi ZANU PF umu mukau moda kuyazochunwa munosakisa nyaya dzeviolence bato rinonzi rinokiya izvi zvakada kudai vanhu vanorohwa neZANU PF. Tinona even my opposition because of Twitter these days, or I mean because of social media, they post some ma incidents aitika before ekurohwa nekurwiswa kwaitika tichionawo vamwe even pacharo mupati growing up unozvanzi tokudaidzira mayouth eZANU PF. So ita senge organ yekurwisa vanhu nezvimwe zvakadaro. Ndezvipi zvamuri kuita kana zvimatanha muri kutora kugadzira kuti bato risave labeled kana risazikanwe neizvozvo?
Isusu sebato reZANU PF vamunangagwa was very clear kuti tine zero tolerance to violence. And ndofunga chero mukaita sama-election a2023 isusu sevanhu veZANU PF taingofamba tichikampena murunyararo, taingofamba tichitaura nevanhu vedu mune zvakanaka.
Yes.
And violence haisi yeZANU PF, violence iri kwese. Ndinorangarira takatopodza taona vamunzura vachipisigwa mumba kurufu kwavatsvangirai. Saka isusu seZANU PF tinongokurudzira kuti munhu wese wemuZimbabwe ngatiseye kurwana, pangava padoro, pangava pachechi, kungava kupolitics. Ndo mashoko anotaurwa naMunangagwa, let us be peaceful, let us love one another. Tinosumuka kana tiri mukudanana, tiri mukubatana than mukurwisana. Saka mashoko ekurudziro ndeyongoti isu eZANU PF we have got zero tolerance to any form of violence. Violence hakusi kurohwa chete, violence kutukwa. Violence ine nzira dzakasiyana siyana. And if anyone waitirwa violence, whether angava weZANU PF, angava webato ripi, angava wechechi ipi, une mvumo yekuenda kumapurisa undoripota. And mapurisa achaita basa rawo without fear or favor. Hakuna munhu anonzi apara haasungwi nekuda kwekuti ndiye wakati. Anenge aona kuti atadzirwa ngaamhanye andoreva kumapurisa, mapurisa vaite basa rawo.
Tinoda kutenda zvikuru director Marapira. Mashoko mungade kusiye kumhuri yeZimbabwe as we round off?
Tinoda kutenda mhuri yeZimbabwe nerunyararo. Peace is a very, very crucial factor for economic growth. Tinoda kutenda nekwa hard working. Tinovatenda ne the faith they continue to give us as ZANU PF. Muruona kuma-by-election uko tiri kurowa. Vari kufamba nesu, tinovatenda. Tinoda kuvatenda. And ngavaramba chitipa feedback. Ma-comment section ngaasave kutuka. Ngave kuti tikapinda tichida kutsvakawo tinotoona kuchinzi aiwa pane pakati muri kupaziva here, tiwane kugadzirisa nyika. Comment section ite hotline. Manje comment section ikanguva yekutukana hapana kwatinenge tichidi tichienda. Ukandituka ndichangoladza manheru nichavata hapana chandendabva azvigadzirise nyika ngatifocusei on taking our country forward. Let us have constructive debate. Tarisai, there was an outcry over the health system yakasvika ikanzwika dai vanhu vakanga focus on kutukana would not have gotten anywhere. So we need to continue and building a rapport between the people and the government and the party, so that they keep giving us feedback on what needs attention, what needs to be done. Tichionesana. So that we continue being the people that fulfill and deliver their mandate. Yes.
Thank you so much. Tinokutendai zvikuru Director Marapira. Darazwa Marapira vanova director vekufambiswa kwemashoko mubato reZANU PF vananga tinawo pano. My name is DJ Ola7. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate your support. Don't forget to subscribe and share this live video. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time. Bye bye.
Imagine harnessing the power of the sun to fuel your home or business. With Taste Solar, you can reduce your energy bills and carbon footprint. Taste Solar are experts in designing, installing and commissioning smart solar systems. Available in 5 and 10 kilowatt systems. With Smart Solar, clients can monitor their systems from anywhere in the world and maintenance can be done remotely. Switch to clean energy and join the sustainable future. Contact our team today. Schedule a consultation on the numbers appearing on screen now. Taste Solar. With solar energy, the future is bright.